On a quiet moonlit street in a small town, a lone cat named Luna sat perched on a narrow stone wall. The gentle breeze rustled the trees above her, and the cool night air brushed against her fur, making her long, sleek coat shimmer under the glow of the street lamps. She had always preferred the serenity of the night, when the world was still, and the shadows held secrets that only those who truly understood could unravel. Her emerald eyes reflected the light, gleaming with a quiet intensity. However, tonight was different. As Luna sat quietly, enjoying the peace of the evening, a distant noise reached her sensitive ears. It was faint at first, but soon it became unmistakable, the unmistakable sound of barking. At first it seemed far off, but it quickly grew louder, sharper, more insistent. Luna's ears twitched. She knew the sound of dogs. It was familiar to her, though she didn't particularly care for their presence. They often made her feel uneasy with their wild, unpredictable energy. She flicked her tail anxiously. The barking grew louder still, and Luna's sharp instincts told her to move. She stood up on the wall, her body tense, every muscle coiled. The street was empty, save for a few discarded wrappers and old leaves that fluttered in the wind. But in the distance, she could now see shapes approaching. A group of 4 large dogs, their silhouettes barely visible in the dim light. They were moving quickly, their heads down, their eyes focused entirely on her. Luna's heart began to race. She was no stranger to trouble, but something about this felt different. The dogs were not just barking aimlessly, there was a clear intent in their movements. They were coming for her. Her mind raced as she considered her options. She could run. She was fast. And the dogs were not particularly agile in comparison to her. But there were 4 of them, and the street offered little in terms of escape routes. Her usual haunts, like the nearby alleys, were too far away. She was cornered in the open, with no trees to climb, no fences to leap over. As the dogs drew nearer, Luna took a deep breath and made a quick decision. She was a cat, and cats were known for their cunning and stealth, not their brute strength. She would have to outsmart them, not outrun them. The first dog, a large, burly mastiff, let out a deep bark that made the hairs on the back of Luna's neck stand up. The sound was so loud, it almost felt like a physical blow. But Luna didn't flinch. She watched the dogs carefully, her eyes narrowing in concentration. She could see the way they moved. Their barks were coordinated, and they circled her, cutting off all potential exits. The second dog, a wiry terrier, darted forward, its sharp teeth bared. Luna's heart skipped a beat. She leapt gracefully to the side, landing on the edge of the wall, just out of reach. The dog's snout snapped shut where she had been moments before. The third dog, a sleek greyhound, was faster than the others. It seemed to anticipate Luna's movements, and with one swift lunge, it was upon her, its lean body stretching out to catch her. But Luna was quicker. With a fluid twist of her body, she jumped into the air, just narrowly avoiding the dog's grasp. She landed on the edge of a nearby garbage can, its lid creaking under her weight. The dogs were relentless, barking and growling, their movements growing more frantic. Luna could hear the frustration in their voices, the realization that she was proving to be an elusive target. She could see the mastiff charging again, this time with more force, its eyes burning with a primal instinct to capture. But Luna was already planning her next move. From her perch on the garbage can, she saw a faint glimmer of opportunity. A thick vine hung from a nearby tree, a low-hanging branch that she could use to swing herself to safety. It was risky, but it was the only option. In one swift motion, Luna launched herself from the garbage can, her claws digging into the rough bark of the tree. She scrambled up the trunk with lightning speed, the dogs barking furiously below her. The mastiff, unable to reach her, gave an angry howl as it jumped up, but Luna was already far beyond its reach. For a moment, she paused on the branch, taking in her surroundings. The street below seemed peaceful once again, The dogs barking now just a distant noise. She had escaped for now, but she couldn't afford to relax. The dogs were still out there, and their relentless pursuit would not end tonight. Luna's emerald eyes flicked back to the street. From her vantage point in the tree, she could see the dogs circling, their frustration mounting. The mastiff growled and paced, while the terrier and the greyhound exchanged glances, clearly waiting for a chance to strike. The fourth dog, a quiet and intelligent-looking border collie, seemed to be observing, its eyes narrowed as it studied her movements. Luna's mind was working quickly. She could tell that the border Sea